Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Little Lounge. It really doesn't work as well, does it? Is it just me, or does it not work as well? Like me, actually, I like the name, I like the new name, I just don't like how it... I like how it sounds, it's very weird. I like reading it, don't really like saying it. It's either that or I'm just not used to it. Anyway, last episode we did the extremes of Stormblood. Good old Shizano, Lakshmi, Shinryu, and also Rathalos. And today we're gonna go and start doing the Alliance raid series of Stormblood, which is a it's a lot of text. There's a lot of text. Anyway, welcome, my lady. There is a young maiden here who would speak with you. Miss, the adventurer has arrived. And here she is, the liberator of both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I'm Lina Murilla, the correspondent for The Raven. You may recognize me from my expose on the secret lives of the homunculi. Oh? Is there a problem? Muji, that would be my sister. People mistake us all the time. Same profession, you see, and video bear passing resemblance. When last I heard, she was still assigned to the botanist guild in Gridania. Poor thing. Then a small talk. It's not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you'd pass by. You what? Nod. No, I'm here because... Actually, it's best you heard it from Alma. I'm but an observer. Alma, come! I found her! Ooh. Music. It means so much more to me when I've played the game. Is this the adventurer of whom you spoke? Indeed it is. The vibes of the Evilist games were so good. Oh well, the War of the Lions, I've only played the PS1 again. I will play the other ones at some point too. Please, I beg of you, find my father. You are his only hope. It's alright, Alma. We are attracting unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We will wait you before the Prima Vista. The theatre barge has a berth. Has a berth, yes, at the airship landing. Right, well, I will. Another thing I'm gonna mention right now, I will do still like my normal thing of like I'm going to be playing the content with certain jobs, like basically going through all the jobs. However, I will make an exception for the Arbonne Menace, for the final one. Sorry, I almost said the name of the final one, which doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, for the final one, I will be using tank because I want a piece of glamour from that. As I said before, I think it better we continue this conversation in the privacy of the young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here, it's simply that I don't trust anyone here. What? Gateguard Minagumo has been instructed to look out for you. In future, speak with him when you wish to gain admission to the docks. Thank you for coming, then. You're probably wondering why I've summoned you to an airship, and a Guardian one at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. The Prima Vista serves as both stage and home to the majestic Imperial Theatre Company. Oh, this music means so much to me. That was a good game. Borderlands was a good game, even though sometimes extremely infuriating. But it's kind of what happens with games in general. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. No one here is a member of the Imperial Army, nor are there any spies within the troop. At least, no known spies. Ask anyone, they will readily attest. The majestic Imperial Theatre Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere on the 3 great continents and beyond. They have admirers throughout the Empire and its territories, and even boast a sizable following in Gridania, hence my assignment to their story. It is still a known fact, outside Garlemald at least, that the late Emperor was a devoted patron of the arts who supported various theatre troupes to the tune of much coin. Indeed, Solus was so enamored of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of this very airship, that the troupe might perform in every corner of the Empire. When his grandson took the throne, however, everything changed. Now all theatre troupes, domestic and foreign, must submit their work for approval by the Central Imperial Board of Censors. If a play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and a troupe denied their writs of transit. And worst offenders? Well, they are never heard from again. This policy has effectively left playwrights with one of 2 options: compromise their creative integrity to curry favor with his radiance, or put down their quills altogether. The Principal of the Majestic, however, chose a 3rd option: to express his disapproval for the new Emperor's policies obliquely and ostensibly unpolitical works. In ostensibly unpolitical works. Jeez. Difficult words. Pray forgive me my earlier outburst. I'm Alma Bas Lexentale, daughter of Principal Genomis Sen Lexentale. It's a lot of syllables. Mayhap you have heard of my father's latest play, the Zodiac Brave story? PTSD. On the surface, it is an innocent retelling of a well-known Guardian fairy tale, hardly worth of the censor's attention, but beneath it is something quite different. A fact the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performance. The play quickly became a huge success. The common folk loved this fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realized their mistake, it was too late. No longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault, they took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began to withdraw their support, fearing to be associated with the troupe, and by the end, even the learned felt compelled to feign ignorance. By ridding the Majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of this has made it any clearer as to why you're here. Right. Allow me, Luna. Right. What did I do for Sid's voice again? I've known Genomis since we were students at the Magitech Academy. When I heard his daughter was in Kugane looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give you her name. I'm sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. Genomis and I were from different worlds, but that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights we would prattle on into the wee small hours, warm flagons of peated ale numbing our minds to the other's naive ideologies. Yet, no matter where our conversations began, it would invariably end with him telling me how he was going to change the Empire from the inside out. The troop was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the Empire forced him from his home, Genomis never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Art will ever strain against artificial bounds and borders, man-made walls and misguided wars. It is in such times of uncertainty that we must needs embrace our calling and take to the sky so others might do the same. What I am trying to say, rather poorly I concede, is that not all Guardians are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pledge their lives to the Empire, and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those like Alma's father and myself whose love for their country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, Try selling that sack of sunflower to an Alamegan or a Doman who has watched his family consumed in the flames of a Magitech Reaper. How many Eorzean adventures do you think would leap at the opportunity to help an Imperial search for a missing father? And in Guardian territory, no less. But you are different. You have seen enough to know that the line between good and evil is not defined by race, color, or creed. So, what say you? I'll turn my back on the damsel in distress. I would make a poor adventurer were I to shy from adventure. Indeed. Indeed. My boy. Now to understand the nature of the task, perhaps Alma could provide some insights as to where we might begin our search. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began work on his next play, a successor to the Zodiac Brave story. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Please follow me. Through adventure and hardship, young Delita, young Delita, a boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of the mythical kingdom of Ivalice. That is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. Was Principal Genomus simply going to invent something? My father believed that he had discovered evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Delita would never have risen to the throne. His was the next tale he wanted to tell. The true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero? According to my father's studies, this young man was one of Delita's closest friends and confidants. It is until the untimely passing of Delita's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delita, thus paving the way for the pauper's rise to regent. You must forgive me, but I've never heard anyone make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? That is a long story. One which begins and ends with Genomus being lost in the very legend he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Ivalice had Genomus firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story was just a fairy tale. And so, when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it was only natural that he should choose this of all places as his refuge. Was it not, Alma? That is correct, Master Garland. It has long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Ivalice lie beyond Langsha, buried beneath the sands of the Dalmasca Desert. Poor Dalmasca. The kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations, until the Empire came calling. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into the Dalmasca Desert to search for proof of Ivalice's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and crystals. Crystals unlike any others. My father called them aura sites and claimed they were vital to proving his theories. This is one such crystal. By the 12, it's magnificent! Ivalicean legend tells of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who will be kings. It is during his quest to gather auracite that young Delita rises to prominence. I must have heard the tale 1,000 times from my nursemates, but that is all it ever was. A tale. My father would often tell us how the auracite spoke to him. At the time we assumed he was speaking figuratively, but the stone's beauty roused his muse. Then he began to act strangely. How so? Following our arrival here in Ingashi, my father spent most of his time closeted in his chambers, poring over his past research, and though he was alone, we could often hear him in conversation. It was not uncommon for my father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who passed several winters ago. Winters ago, I guess. I may have misread that. Might it not have been out of mere loneliness, or perhaps the strain of your flight from Garlemald? Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. Alma, who are these people? I told you I do not require any help finding father, especially from outsiders. So good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce... Enough, Master said. We may be shunned by the Empire, but we are still Guardians, and we still have our pride, unlike some, it seems. We require neither the aid nor the pity of foreign rabble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? It is we who are the foreign rabble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We would be fools to conduct our search without a proven guide. Your sister is right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistrust is ill-placed. I personally vied for her character. In all the time I've known her, she has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed color her judgment. You're lucky to have her. But we would have you, Master Garland. Why do you refuse us? You know why. Until this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Genomus to his fate. I'm sorry. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me. That's what happened in Rabanastre. It may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's last expedition met with tragedy in the ruins of the capital city. He barely escaped with his life. The Empire turned Rabanastre into a death trap. We were a fool to set foot there without a proper escort. I realize that now, Master Garland, but at the time I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Dalmascus' capital? My father's fascination with Evelician legend began with a trip to the antediluvian city long before the war. Call it a premonition, but something tells me that is where he has returned. Now you must excuse me. I need some time to think. Then Alma, I should have you and your brother in Lynn's capable hands. She has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant her yours. Thank you, Master Garland. We will not forget this kindness. By the way, the Omega stuff and the Evelician stuff kind of like overlaps in time to a certain degree. Like, all of these things are usually released in different patches, so stuff might line up a little bit weirdly, but I do like to do these types of content just one, like, in a row, basically, because, you know. It is, it's just easy for me, I feel. I feel like it's also just better to have, like, the story just be done in one single go. There's only one exception to this, I think, in all of this game. Master Garland seems to think highly of you, so I will withhold judgment until after Dalmasca. Dalmasca is nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire's outermost territories. I do not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but would suggest committing to memory the locations of each of the barge's exits, just in case. As for the flight itself, the currents above Dalmasca are as wild as the lands below. You may want to hold on. And I think this is just gonna unlock it, right? No, we're gonna have a cutscene first. As the ship very slowly moves. I mean, it is a huge ass freaking ship, though. The fact that it moves at all is already kind of a surprise. Ah, my nose, Jesus. A very stuffy nose, so, you know. You'll probably notice that. Another cutscene? Yes. We'll complete our descent to Rabanastre in the shuttle. Ramza. Thought I made myself clear, Alma. The capital is simply too dangerous. Father would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. Come, you're wasting time. But she has such a good spell in the game. That's the only thing she does, but she has a very good spell. That she can only cast like maybe twice. Guess she doesn't have enough MP most of the time. Welcome to the royal city of Rabanastre. According to my father, Rabanastre was already a thriving city some thousands of years ago. But after performing several private excavations beneath the so-called Desert Sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then your father believes that Rabanastre sits atop the royal city of Lazalia, capital of ffXIV. But if that is true, it could change history. He would be famous. Famous? Are you sure you don't mean rich? Bah, you're kinda all alike. Parasites have grown fat on the sweat and suffering of others. Bold words for a boy of but 16 summers. But what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well then, I would be the worst supporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Yes, yes, we can argue about this now, or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it is time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. Let's fucking go. The Evil's rates are very good. You see? It is as I said, brother. Let them come to us. Should we kill them now? No, the time is not right. When has that stopped us before? Fool, do you see that one? Slayer of gods, they call her. Warrior of light. I'm just going to the chat box in case. There it is. Alright. I will be right back because I gotta figure out which job I need to play. Okay, the queue timer said 18 minutes, and it popped in 5 seconds. I'm not complaining though. Not at all. And I noticed, and apparently the last thing I did was good old Rathalos, normal Rathalos, and I was a scholar, which means this actually comes up reading perfectly. Needed to play Astrologian for the thingamabob. Yes, of course. Needed to play Astrologian for just running around, and now I get to do the raid as Astrologian. Anyway, it seems like we're not gonna get... I hate it when it does this, because then I'm like, okay, let me go and just, you know, resume my recording, because we're gonna jump into the raid, and then somebody backs out. Alliance raids, am I right? I guess I'll be right back. Alright, second time that it pops up. Come on, DPS. Come on, DPS. Fucking ass. Be right back again. Okay, this time I decided, you know, not to record every single time that happens, so anyway. We are here. We're finally here. The red chocobos. The royal city of Rabanastre. Rabanastre? Depends. There's probably different ways to say it, but I just say Rabanastre. Just why not? Right. Time to deal with level 70 astrologian rotation. Which I will probably not do very nicely. Also me trying to remember mechanics. That's not a thing. These are no ordinary birds. They are red birds. The scariest of birds. Foul prevents our crossing. Wear its numbing breath. Mateus the Corrupt. Let me see if I remember how to play Astrologian. Let me go and put this one down. And one of those. Put a dot on that thing. Is Zowie the one tanking? No, good. I don't need to care that much. Anyway, his mechanics. This is kind of a boss that you don't really see all the mechanics of most of the time. Anyway, he unbinds the woman from his chest, quite literally. And she's gonna start skating around, basically. And every single one of these things that she touches will become a slight mechanic. So the big aquaspheres you gotta destroy. Any of the small ones that he touches, turns into one of these ice slaves. And then we've got, let's see, we've got the big ones that we've already killed, like most of. They would turn into ice blocks that will blow up after a while, if I recall correctly. This, that, this, them. So the idea would be that you would basically try to soak all of those things. Also, if you are drenched and then, you know, touch the ice skating woman, you will get frozen in place. That is also another little thing that can happen. Man. The music. Also, there's 2 bards and 2 dances in that part. That's kind of funny. Alright. Rebind. Gonna call back the dancer. The skater. Back into his chest. Or their chest. This is one character I don't really know. It's probably from another ffXIV game. Or another EBC game. Alright, so now we're gonna get this. Just gonna shield up. Let's bring one of these. I'll go bounce this time. I'm gonna put this down, get one of these going. Yeah, Astrologian is a pretty busy job. Most of the time. And then at level 70 I can still like kind of keep up. Once we reach level 80, that's where stuff starts to become a little like, what am I supposed to do? And we get this phase, where we're gonna have frogs. We get Breathless. If you reach, how many stacks is it? If you reach 10 stacks of it, you will immediately die. So the idea would be that you would kill the toads and stand in these bubbles to be able to breathe still. Once again, there's probably more mechanics to this fight, like these dashing boys over here. But there's a lot of stuff that you don't usually see because of, you know, the usual stat creep, where everything is kind of weak, comparatively. A lot of the Evolution gear looks kind of meh, for the most part. I feel like it looks better now that I've played FF Tactics, the original one. Makes it look better because, you know, now it's iconic to me, as opposed to just not looking that great compared to the other stuff in this game. And we get some of these pig boys, which I think are from They are either from the Game Boy Advance one, or they are from like ffXIV, I think it is. That like is also a release kind of deal. Anyway, Black Turquoise. They are fast and do a lot of damage, but also kind of weak. Just going off of my knowledge from ffXIV. They're very squishy, but they can fly around and do range attacks and do a crap load of damage at higher levels. And then there's the red one, which will just cast Meteor, which is really powerful because there's a lot of range and there's a lot of damage. And the bird in of itself is already very strong too. There you go. By casting that Meteor, they also killed their pig friends. I'm not gonna use my raid blast for these mimics. There we go. But I mentioned the Empire using their might to put down rebellions within the city. But this destruction is too widespread. What of that creature we fought earlier? ... No one has twisted others. Not to work with the Empire. Something is wrong here. We're going to get that going. This, that, these. And I did not mean to give that to myself, but here we are. Extra damage for myself. Anyway, Quake 4 is rate-wide damage, which we can immediately heal. These things will like appear underneath random people, and they will, of course, do damage. Control tower. There's a little bit of damage. Same for Sanction, and now one of the towers has been cut, and it's going to drop in the direction that it's pointing, and one-shot the person that's going to get hit by it. This attack, go to the side that is not on fire. We're going to do that. Where's that person that got crushed by a tower? Alright, these boys over here are going to drop and do damage proximity based on where they land. So you just kind of want to be away from them before you see this, because that's going to already kill you, probably. And we have Command Tower. It's going to push you back. And then create a tower. A literal tower that we need to fight. It's going to hit us with AoEs. Or definitely try to hit us with AoEs, that is. I'll give the guy a regen. Let's go into one of these. Do a regen. I'm also going to do one of these. Because I can. Why is that person so far away? Where are you? Oh, there you are. We're going to use Musa Drilling this. We're kind of running out of MP here. Not running out of. We need to be careful with it. We have Land Waster. And I'm going to use a shield. There we go. I'm going to heal. I'm going to buff everybody again. More control towers. Let's see, they're going to drop in that direction and that direction. So I'm safe over this side. Nah, I'm not anymore because this thing's appeared. The control tower. Let me go and arrest that other person. Towers are gonna drop over there again. We're gonna heal you up. More fire. Ah, crap! I was just a little bit too late. And I was pretty dang far away, that person, so. Let's go into one of these, and then we're going to start casting. Okay, no, they're casting race, so I'll let them do it. They can. White mages can rest for free, basically. Most of the time, in any case. Unless a lot of people die. Rock Cutter is a tank buster, which is going to also hit in front of them. More Earth Hammers, so the things from before where you need to be away from them. Where you will take proximity damage, and there's a lot of damage. freaking hellhole. I already got hit by it too myself. And looks like we have some golems. Gonna res you. You really wanna kill these golems because they're gonna become stronger over time. Anyway, we're gonna be missing out a lot of mechanics once again because, well, he's dead. There's still some other big thing where he spawns like balls of sand. We're gonna have to like kind of split up and kill the sand things before they blow up. Can be very nasty. But this alliance is pretty dang good on the DPS department, so as honest to God, unfortunate that it is for once. Because I kind of want to show as much as I can. But I also don't really want to, like, you know... I don't want to go and look for an entire alliance once to run at mid-item level. That's going to take way too much time. Time that I don't really feel like spending. It's not like I don't have it, I just don't really want to spend that amount of time looking for people. Let's go do that. I also finally know what these freaking Archeer demons, like where their model comes from. It comes from Evil, so... Or at least from the... from Tactics. That's I'm gonna get one done. There's one cast from Dragon's Voice, but he got interrupted, so don't have to worry about that. Unholy darkness. Oh, the darkness. Yeet. Now we get the... Is this a really cool part? I forgot. Yeah, this is a really cool part. Welcome to Garamsith. What's it again? Garamsith Waterways. These tunnels are said to have existed since before even the Kingdom of Dalmasca was born. As the city grows, channels are widened and new outlets dug. I would venture that some of the pools are so deep no one alive has ever seen their bottom. There's other stuff you can read depending on where you go. We're now all the way to Lion's Beef, so we're in the middle. Actually, this may be one of them where we can read. Anyway, all these paths are different, so it's really cool. So you get to explore all these things. There's scratch lettering and all that jazz, but once again, I don't really tend to, unless I've, yeah, most of the time I just don't really read them. This is something you can definitely look up if you're interested in it. It is something that I will not be able to show you because I don't really want to waste other people's time. I kind of want to keep up with the alliance. I want to look at the game mechanics for the most part. There we go. All alliances converge, and we venture forth. Down we go. Slip sliding away. Into the royal city of Lazalia. As was prophesied. These ruins, we're no longer in Rabanastre, my friends. This is Lazalia, the Lazalia of Ivalian legend. Wow. Somebody's first time probably just saying like, wow, cool. That's nice. I love to see when people are enjoying stuff. Creatures here are not mere beasts or voids, and the secrets that lie beyond must be the ones worth keeping. Right. Do that. We're going to do one of them. We're going to put this down. Hit you with a dot. Give you one of them. Go and get this going. There's a lot of stuff happening in the beginning of my rotation. Alright, Crush Helm is a tank buster that will hit the tank multiple times in a row. Hit him with like a couple of physical vulnerabilities which you can cleanse off with Esuna before the final hit happens. So there are ways that you can reduce the damage. It's not really super necessary though, for the most part. Someone will get marked and will get dashed towards by the boss in the form of chariots. After that, he is also going to do a room-wide cleave, so you want to get close to him. Crush weapon. This will target a couple of people, I think. No? Okay, it's just going to target the floor. And do a lot of damage. So people will get hit by it. What the fuck? Why did you stand in both of those? Trample. This will do a figure 8 maneuver, which you can see for a second. So you can avoid it by standing in these. Let me go and heal you too. Redot the enemy, and I go and blow up my thing. Alright. And then he will line up with all of his buddies and do a lot of dashing attacks with 2 safe spots. As they say. Not a crush helm. Since, you know, Aoi is not tanking, I don't really have to care about that. Another crush weapon. Watch out for the AoEs, because they do a lot of damage. Right, so he has reached his next phase, where he is now invincible. For the moment. Yeah. Normally, I think if it actually was difficult still, which it kind of isn't, you would kind of like assign specific people, but just like in the Cloud of Darkness fight, just kind of like spread out, and you'll be able to kill all these boys. Once you're done killing him, you will then also be greeted with, like, you will stop the ethereal acceleration and be greeted with his attack. Where is he gonna go down from? There he is. Let's go and get up my shield. And down he goes! Awesome. So cool. This. Now he's gonna set traps in the floor. Touch him and he will be binded to the floor. But you can, oh fuck. He's gonna dash towards him. Squeeze me. I'm gonna try to make it as easy as I can for the rest, but if you get hit by a trap, you of course can't move, so let's go into this, another trample, so another one of those figure 8 moves. Another quiet victory. Pomp and Circumstance. That's a name of an attack. Jesus, that's a lot of damage. Let me go into that. Embrace, so once again, more traps. I'm gonna try to avoid those. Crush weapon again. Watch out for them too. Let me go and move. Whoopsie. I'm gonna get 2 line boys. I'm gonna blow up my freaking thing. Do I have this? That person died. Son of a bitch. Now which one are we doing? Number 7. This one. There we go. I'm gonna pump a Circumstance. Okay. Go into her. Maybe healing. Now we get this one over here, Dark Gales. We need to interact with these dark circles. We're gonna take bleeding damage, as long as it is dark. Just right click them. And once all of them are gone, we will blind to the boy to a certain degree. And we can see where he's gonna dash. Right. All of this again. Alright, person's gonna get marked for charging. There's gonna be more AoEs. Really? Well. Looks like I'm gonna get hit by that. Actually, no, wow, because he aimed towards... Nice. That's good. Ah. To die a good death. That's what he says. Question mark. Did they open the chest? Please open the chest. Why'd you not open the chest? I should just open them myself in the future. The air feels wrong. Can't you sense it? Death awaits us here. Let's see if they're gonna pull before, you know, I get to finish my cutscene. You fucking bitch.
Who dares disturb the slumber of Argath Adalphos, rightful king of Ivalice? Descendants of House Beowulf? Then by my sword shall I banish your souls to the deepest hell.
Alright. Guess I'll have to explain some of the mechanics in a different thing. Alright, the mask that just appeared is going to give you an order. If it is a blue mask, you follow the order. Otherwise, you don't. Get this going, get that. Please, give you one of them. Once again, white mask means that I have to do what he says, which is turn away. Judgment Blade. It's gonna mark people, we're gonna create cross AoEs. Crippling Bow is a fantastic. There we go. So they're going to create line AoEs, and there's gonna be some proximity stuff too. I'm just going to shield anybody who's around me, fuck the rest. One of us turn into a chicken. If you get like 2 of these stacks over here, you will turn into a chicken. Also gonna summon people. I do not really know what this does particularly. It just summons shades, which are tethered to each other. Weirdly enough. I do not know what they do. Either way. I'm relenting. Lines. I'm just going to empty soul. It's going to create shards of emptiness, which we need to destroy. I'm just going to blow up my freaking thing. Do lots of damage to it. Okay. And just Dark Ultima. And there we go. Now we're gonna have to do the opposite thing. So he wants me to turn away, but I'm not gonna turn away. Because he gave me the other mask. Annoying red. Which will make you confused. This thing was gonna spin around, and you're only gonna move in the direction that it points. That's basically the idea. Kind of a little bit difficult to explain. Oopsie. This. Of course, that person died. I already rest them. They're too slow. Right. I want to know, do I just like stand here? Yeah, okay. That also works. Now we once again do what he wants because of the white mask. Just flee. Which is run away. It's either run away or just run around. I think it's running around, not particularly running away. Judgment Blades. Once again, people are dying because... I wouldn't die. I'm gonna wait with Resi. Not particularly in a favorable location. I think this should be good. I'm not gonna die from this damage. Oh, looks like the other one was resing that one. Didn't see that. Yes, they have a macro, which you may have heard a couple of times already. But I don't care. I'm not paying attention to chat while I'm playing. Trepidation. Just towers to take. First weapon from earlier. Just AoEs. Soul Fix. Little AoE run. And that is it for the fight. Nice.
Where am I? This body, it is not my own.
Oh, gods, what have I done? Save me! Ramza! Save me!
Duty complete. More tactic reference, of course. Royal City of Rabanastre complete. These wares are very good. I'm going to give my commendation to Cat. May as well try to get something. See if it is any good. Oopsie. I like how like literally 0 healing gear is dropped in this entire raid. And a lot of commendations there. That's nice. I mean, I was a healer, so I was a healer and I stayed around for a pretty long time, so I guess that makes sense. Time to hear it. Chew, chew, chew. Where am I? Father. Ramza and the Warrior of Light? Yes, I know of you. That you should come to my rescue. Words fail me. Poor playwright, I must seem. The term you're looking for is thank you. Upon which note, I, Bagamon, Bounty Hunter, do humbly thank you, Warrior of Light, for delivering me this fine gift. Now hand over the other side unless you wish to see the desert sands turn red. And be quick. Gijuk, you're just not of the steadiest of hands. That one. She will bring it to me. Yes, this is it. The Duma. And to think we found it so close to Doma. The Duma of Doma. Enough, Boggy. You would not have our guests think us underbred. You have what you want, you thieving lizards. Now unhand him. Of course. A Bongo is always true to his word. I will be keeping this, though. Father. You've only yourselves to blame for this. If you mislike the thought of, you could always blame the gods. Not that they are listening. Get up, fool. We're leaving. You're going to be alright. We cannot see to your father's hurt here. Come on, we must get him back to the Prima Vista. Genomus remains deep in slumber, but his breathing is steady and his fever has subsided. For now all we can do is wait. I have sent word to Sid. I hope you don't mind. Alma, Ramza, can you ever forgive me? And you, Sid, it's never my intention to put you to such trouble. I am ever in your debt. You would have done the same for me, Genomus. Besides, it was Lynn here who went to all the trouble. If anyone deserves your thanks, it's her. Yes, right, I have done naught to deserve your kindness, yet I am its beneficiary, nonetheless. So, if I understand correctly, you're saying our side does not work to facilitate the possession of a living host by an icon, as was assumed to be the case with Azael and the Archbishop, but rather absorbs the host's ether, its very soul, and somehow transforms it before returning it to its host body. If that is the case, our Shaudian allies will need to be informed immediately. But I suppose the real question here is, did you find what you came looking for? The legend would have us believe that Dalita Hero, the commoner who would be king, was the sole hero of the Zodiac Brave story. But as I have discovered, there was another. 2 others, in fact. Siblings whose roles faded from subsequent retelling of the story. A brother and sister by the names of Ramza and Alma. Then, to prepare for this assignment, I pored over every published work on Evilisian legend I could lay my hands on, and nowhere did I find any mention of these siblings. But I did. I uncovered irrefutable evidence that Dalita had a close companion named Ramza, who aided him in his rise to power. This, in turn, led me to Alma, and that I might never lose sight of the truth, I named my own children after these lost prayers. I'm sorry I never told you any of this, Sid, but you must believe me. Evilise has never been a mere pastime of mine. It is and forever will be my calling, my purpose. My family's purpose. Go on. The world knows me as Genomus Sen Lexentail. Yet that is but my stage name. My true name is Arazlam. Arazlam Durai. countless generations past, it was my ancestor who penned the Durai papers, an account of Ivalice and the War of the Lions, that details what truly occurred during that turbulent era. You're tired, father. Rest. I will continue. Long ago, an orphan by the name of Oran Durai crossed paths with both Ramza and Delita. After Delita's rise to power, Oran found himself in service of the pauper become king. Following the War of the Lions, Oran believed the people of Ivalice had a right to know the truth of Ramza's involvement, and set about documenting his deeds. When the church learned of his intent, however, they branded him a heretic and had him burned at the stake. The Durai papers were never published, and any existing copies were gathered and sealed away in church vaults. The truth about Ivalice along with them. What was so damning that it would drive the church to do such a thing? The answer to that question can be found in this book, the only surviving transcript of my ancestors' chronicle, copied from an early draft and passed down for untold generations. With this, my father and I plan to reveal the truth and restore honor to my family name. Forbidden Chronicle? A secret family legacy? Not that I doubt you, Genomis. But how do you expect to convince people of all of this when well nigh every soul in the realm believes evil is to be nothing but a bedtime story? By proving that it is anything but. And when people see that Ivalice was real, the rest will fall into place. Were it as simple as bringing forth the Chronicle and submitting it for review, it would of course have done so long ago, but alas, it is not. The Durai papers, you see, are written in High Ivalician, an ancient tongue long extinct. My father, his father, and his father before him labored tirelessly, that was a word, to decipher this tongue, but for want of other sources, made only fitful progress. A word here, a phrase there. It wasn't until a recent expedition to Rabanastre turned up several well-preserved artifacts that we were able to translate a small portion of the papers. Then the diary stolen by the Banga bounty hunters. I'm afraid so. Everything we had learned in the language was contained in those pages. And we're back to where we started. Not necessarily. We still have the transcript, as well as some few translated passages. And of course, my father's impeccable memory. I've come too far to allow so simple a setback to deter me from my purpose. I will show the world to the truth, if it is the last thing I do. And as Master Garland said, he is a man obsessed, and I fear Ivalice's grip on him will only grow tighter. Father was fortunate to escape Rabanastre with his life, and already he speaks of continuing his quest. Promise me you'll keep him safe, please. After what I've seen, I'm all but convinced that Ivalice exists, at least in some form. The problem will be gathering sufficient evidence to convince the thousands of scholars and historians who have based their careers on the presumption that it doesn't. Not that I've ever been one to shy from a challenge, especially when it means the story of the century. If you're in, Lynn, then I'm in. If you're not in, well, I'm still in. Either way, you'll be hearing from me again soon. That much I promise you. There we go. And that, my friends, is going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Little Day Lounge. I'm gonna have to really think of a new fucking intro and outro. And next episode, we are going to go and continue with the Ivalice raids. And before we actually leave, do I really have both of these? That's pretty cool, actually. You know, the thing is, this is like one of my biggest gripes with like all of the glamour in this game. Now, like all of the raid glamour in this game. All of it looks pretty dang decent. Like, a lot of stuff in any case looks pretty dang decent, but there's so many like raid gear pieces that you just can't buy, especially the Alliance raid stuff. That is the most unfortunate thing of all. Because this doesn't look bad particularly. But I think this would be better for like a tank instead of... I think you can get this for tank too, but also being able to dye it would be really nice and all that jazz. What else do I have? I also have the samurai kotes, which are mittens, and I don't like those. Anyway, my friends, that is it. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next episode. Goodbye.